Kyle Whittingham has emerged as the focus of Michigan's coaching search. Pete Thamel credited on this particular report. Should be noted, Whittingham had already announced he was stepping away from Utah after 21 seasons. This is also the focus. It's not a done deal as we speak right now, but it is yet again an attempt to match a name with a name program.
Yeah, this was not a name. Kyle Whittingham was not a name that I thought would be even in contention for this job. Frankly, Fitz, because it's hard for me to even picture Kyle Whittingham coaching anywhere other than Utah, where he's been for the last 2 decades. Now, he did say he was stepping away from the program. There's been a coach in waiting to take over the reins for several years, but he never said that he was retiring. And after Michigan, a lot of names have been kind of lingering around the Michigan program. Kalen DeBoer's name, Kenny Dillingham, the head coach at Arizona State, he just signed a contract extension. So I was kind of looking around thinking, who in the world is Michigan going to hire? But I love this. I didn't think Kyle Whittingham was even an option for this job, but I think that this might just be the best name on the market. You look at Kyle Whittingham and what he's been able to do at Utah. When coaches' seats are hotter than ever, when the shelf life for a college football coach is shorter than an avocado, and you have a guy that's been somewhere for 2 decades, that's a testament to him, not just as a coach, but as a person to work with. He's been at Utah for 21 years. You've never heard of a single scandal or any sort of bad PR that's come out of Utah, and he has made Utah a perennial contender for so many years in the Pac-12. Utah has won 10 games consistently under Kyle Whittingham, so I think even though this is a guy that I didn't even think about for this job, he might just be the best one for it. If he does end up getting hired by Michigan, I will love this. I think it would be a home run for the Wolverines.
I think two things can be true at the same time. Like right now, it feels like this is a really good hire. For all the reasons you mentioned, I'll add stability. I'll add a
Mhm.
grown up in the room. I'll add somebody that's not going to be overwhelmed by the platform that comes with being the head football coach of Michigan football. Somebody that I think is a real calming presence to an entire program. So there's a lot of that I really love about Whittingham, particularly in Michigan. I also think it's fair to acknowledge that if we just rewound time, and I know the world doesn't work this way, but if we went back to the evening of the finish of the game just finishes between Michigan and Ohio State. And in that exact moment, before anybody else had hired anybody, if we had said, okay, of all of the names that could be your head coach next year, it's going to be Kyle Whittingham. I think there would have been a lukewarm response at that point. There
Mhm.
is something to a lifer at Utah that has done absolutely incredible work, but there was a coach in waiting for a reason. There was a step away for a reason. So I think two things are true here. I agree with you that in this moment, considering everything else in the way the clock had sort of turned itself around, I think Whittingham is a hire that makes a ton of sense. And it's a hire I like a lot. I think in that opportunity, he can have a real opportunity to come in and just sort of normalize Michigan football while also having a lot of success on the field. I think he can accomplish both those things. I just also think that if we went back before any of the names were going anywhere and saying, this is the guy you're going to get, the excitement level will be a little bit more tepid. This is not going to be, to me, in the same level as, oh my God, we just landed Lane Kiffin. But I will remind everybody this important fact. There are only two coaches in all of college football that have won a national championship as a head coach, right? So if you are not Ryan Day or Kirby Smart, everybody else is chasing Ryan Day or Kirby Smart. So the real judge here for Michigan is, can Kyle Whittingham compete with Ryan Day, with Kurt Signetti, with Dan Lanning? I think he can, Caroline. I don't think that
Mhm.
he turns around and suddenly makes them worlds better than Sherrone Moore was on the sideline. I don't know about that. But I think he can compete with the big boys. He's shown that he can compete with the biggest brands and names in college football. So I think this is a good hire given the circumstance. But I do have to say, given the circumstance when I analyze it.
Yeah, and I don't think that winning the hire is necessarily the same as winning the press conference. Is Kyle Whittingham as flashy of a hire as Kalen DeBoer would have been? No, he's not. But that doesn't mean he's the wrong guy for the job. You bring up stability. The Michigan football program needs stability after everything that they've gone through with the Jim Harbaugh situation, the Connor Stallion situation, and now the Sherrone Moore situation. The Michigan football program reputation has been stained. You want somebody that can bring a better perspective and more stability to that. The other thing is, what is Kyle Whittingham known for? Physical and tough at the lines of scrimmage. He is known for how nasty his defensive fronts have been. That sounds like Big Ten play. That sounds like Michigan kind of play. Tough and gritty and playing great at the lines of scrimmage. So I think that kind of philosophy would fit in flawlessly at Michigan and in the Big Ten.
You're 1,000% right. And now all eyes are going to turn to immediately what is Bryce Underwood or whoever is going to be the quarterback in Michigan next year think of the hire. We have to acknowledge that in this NIL world, quarterbacks are essentially bought, right? So at some point, how will that quarterback room look under Whittingham? Because certainly I don't think you can win at the highest level in the Big Ten without it.